This week we have Alex Stapleton, who lives in Milton Keynes in England. He's originally English but of Italian descent. He also lived briefly in Ireland and rode with the Dublin-based Orwell Wheelers when he completed PBP in 2023 in a time of 88 hours and 27 minutes. Alex, it's a pleasure to meet you.
And nice to meet you, Peter.
Okay, I'll start with this first one. What does PBP mean to you?
Yeah, I think some it's just an epic. Well, it's a big event, and yeah, it's probably something. I just thought, yeah, it was just a big ride, and reading up about it before completing it, it's one of the biggest rides one can do as an amateur, and has almost the same atmosphere as like a pro would completing the Tour de France. So yeah, when completing it, it was like just amazing, like the atmosphere you get at the finish line, or even on the route. On the route, you've
Yeah,
got crowds the whole route almost.
yeah, completely, completely. Let's go back to the start. Tell me, when did you start riding? Why do you ride? That kind of stuff.
Yep. So I started riding a lot, like as a teenager, and then just a lot of like having fun. I was mainly into mountain biking, really, but um, it wasn't, and did like a few long rides, but always on like average bikes. I didn't start driving until I was like my mid 20s, so I just used it more to to get around.
Yeah,
But then, yeah, but one of the things I do like is the sensation of speed. So it's like, I don't know, especially going down descents,
yeah, yeah. Okay,
taking them really quick.
that's cool. Yeah, great. So then, how did you first hear about PBP?
Um, so I started road cycling in 2019, and I was having a look around, trying to figure out like just a- anything to do with road cycling. I was doing a long 2 day event. I think it was 260 kilometers. So day one was 160. It was London to Amsterdam. So 160 kilometers. Take the ferry. Take 100 kilometers the second day, and thought, oh yeah, um, what other events are similar to this? And I actually came across PvP, but didn't think too much of it. And at the time, the qualification, um, how to qualify for it, looked really complicated.
Yeah, I agree.
So I actually applied to LEL, London, Edinburgh, London, but didn't get in the ballot.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, that was kind of going to be. So I actually thought I'd complete LEL before PvP, but I've still not done LEL today.
Cool. So, what was your kind of strategy going into PBP, and how did you figure out a strategy?
So I didn't. So I moved to Ireland in like 2020, and joined the Orwell Wheelers as my first road club, and they have a large large Audax faction of the club, and in 2019 they were actually the I think the only club to have every rider complete.
Wow,
So,
that's
so
amazing.
I think there were seven, but if you look at the like publications, I think they were the only team to have 100% finish, which is great. So I did my first Audax in 2022. I didn't really think too much of it. So I was just like, oh no, just trying different things, and thought, oh, it's something that would interest me anyway.
Yeah,
But I just really saw it as a long ride because I'd done kind of sportives to that point.
I get
I
you.
think it was, yeah. So and also their 200, the Orwell 200 is in March, so it's a nice in Europe. It's a nice early season ride. So if you get that done, then you've kind of built fitness from there.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Um,
Go
so
ahead.
yeah, going on. Then 2023 comes around, and sign up for the. I decide actually I can go ahead and try and qualify for the PBP. So kind of almost on a whim, I'd only done one Audax until this point. Decide, okay, let's see if I can do the
Wow.
qualifications and then do PBP. So I think my strategy was um, I do quite analyze a lot my rides post um, afterwards.
Yeah.
So I was looking at just what did I do well, what did I do wrong. My worst qualifier was the 300, where I barely slept, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, yeah, my average speed ended up about being roughly what I ended up doing in PvP because yeah, just didn't feel that great. But it was a very good learning experience, and that
Yeah.
was at the time only my third Audax.
Yeah. That's
Um,
incredible. That is really incredible. You just decided to take this on a whim. Amazing.
Uh, yeah, I did have as I said, I did have aspirations of doing a
Yeah.
long ride beforehand, but it wasn't quite. Yeah, yeah. The way it worked out was, yeah, I thought I could like train up to PvP as I was like quite a strong um,
Yeah.
club rider at the time anyway.
I think
So
it's I think it's interesting in the kind of briefing you sent me. You talked a lot about data and how you like to analyze data, which I think is very interesting and it's smart when for your very first one. I think it said something like you were 34 when you did it, first of all, and
yeah,
that is the age that has the highest level of success. Is that correct?
yeah. So looking at the yeah, weirdly, yeah, between the age, looking at the official book, the
Yeah.
age bracket 30 to 40, you're less likely to fail a
Okay.
PvP attempt.
That's interesting. Yeah. Because I would imagine people in their 20s that do it probably don't have enough mental fortitude, right? And then you had that
Yeah,
combination when you're in your 30s to 40s, mental fortitude and physical ability. Maybe, I don't know. Mm.
yeah, and I kind of, looking back on it now, I do think it was I did it also a little bit naively, even though I was analyzing it as I was progressing through the different um,
Yeah.
qualifiers. I was learning more and more, but there was
Yeah.
still
Yeah. Like
nothing that could prepare me for the actual event.
that's
So,
yeah.
but
That's completely it. Yeah.
my main strategy anyway was to go. Fortunately, the 400 qualifier had the same start time that I started at, so it was a 7 p.m. start. So so we did the 400 qualifier, and I was able to like complete that easy, complete that, and then
Perfect.
go to bed.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll do that. So ended up, so 400k is about Ludiac. It
Yeah.
kind of nicely splits the ride into three easy, manageable chunks.
Yeah. Like I just going back to that point, I think you mentioned you were quite naive going into the first one. I think,
Yeah.
by default, or everyone is naive. You can only do so much preparation and you still don't know what that first one will be like. That's the challenge, I think.
No, and also, yeah, so prior to 2023, the PvP year, I hadn't done anything longer than a
That's
200k
it.
ride.
That's
So,
crazy. Um,
um,
Alex, another brief aside, okay? I don't know if you can answer this, but is there any differences in biking between Ireland and England where you now live? And maybe it's just because where you live, I suppose, is kind of urban. Is that correct now?
it's urban, but I live on the edge of the city now, so
Okay.
it's quite easy. So it was the same in Dublin. I was living in Dublin City when and there I lived, I'd say within 20 minutes. I was in the Wicklow Mountains, which was is a phenomenal place to ride. If anyone
Yeah.
is in that part of the world, it's like, yeah, I do miss it sometimes because I
Yeah.
don't have the climbs where I am now are very short. and
Yeah.
there, yeah, it was
Cool.
very beautiful country. But yeah, it's a lot busier here with cars in Ireland. As soon as you leave Dublin,
It's yeah.
it's very it gets very quiet. So it was actually, apart from because Orwell um, organized the qualifier, which made all the qualifying series. It meant it was easy for me to do the qualifiers. Whereas if I tried to do it from England, my closest club is either in London, or there's a huge club in Essex called Acme.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Uh,
Cool.
um, th- so, and that's not nowhere near as close as where I am. So it's
Yeah.
yeah.
And t tell me briefly about the logistics in getting to the start line.
Oh yeah. So after completing the 600, I
Yeah.
moved back to England. However, I thought, oh, it'd be easier if we had a bus because I can't remember how many of us started. I think it was nine.
Yeah.
We had a team bus taking all the bikes from Ireland in a ferry to Rambouillet. So I thought, okay, I'll go over to Dublin,
Yeah.
and then catch a flight from Dublin to Paris, and then stay. So I stayed in Paris near Montmartre,
Yeah.
not Montmartre, Montparnasse. So you can
Okay.
get the train out to. If they do it in, if 2027's in Rambouillet again, I'll probably, yeah, I'll anticipate. If yeah, I'm planning to do it again. If it is in Rambouillet again, I'll probably stay in Paris and get the train out because that was very
Yeah.
easy.
That's exactly what I did both times. It's so easy to just be in Paris, and
Yes.
it's kind of more fun, and also maybe you're removed from the craziness of, the starting line and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, cool. So then, no issues then. You got your bike to the start.
Yeah.
Were you nervous at the start line?
No, but it was quite funny because I booked the meal at the start and I got really confused. For some weird reason, I thought, oh yeah, you start and then have the meal. So I ended up not having not having the meals.
Yes.
However, I had a sandwich on me, so I was fine for food
Yeah.
because my
Uh,
plan at the time was to do 200k with like trying not stopping for 200k.
yeah. And what was your plan to ride with others or not, or ride by yourself?
Plan was to so every Audax, and I think this is probably why I like Audaxing, is
Yeah.
I always end up, so there's parts of every Audax where I'm kind of riding by myself, but then there's other parts where I'm like like make a group with other riders, and then yeah, just have chats about other things, and it's made me want to like continue Audaxing.
Yeah. What
And
was your confidence level when you left the start line? Were you confident 100% I'm going to do this, or did you
I
have a
was
certain amount of, yeah, go ahead.
a little bit nervous, but I was also confident. I'd follow. So I've been following. So one of I think there was some advice saying that a 300 gives you your rough. Despite my 300 being terrible, a
Yeah.
300 gives you a rough um, idea of what your day pace is.
Okay.
Um, So my 400, I forget what my pace was, but it was fairly good. So I was thinking if I can keep my 400 pace for the whole event, I'll be fine.
Cool.
But
So,
I actually, but I'd also heard that in the first stint of the PBP, you get into some really fast pelotons, and because I was a club rider, I had quite a, well, kind of lost it a little bit now, but I had better group riding skills.
yeah.
So it was just easy to just form in a group. It was quite fun. at the time.
So I think I read that you started pretty late, like 7 p.m. or something. So
Yeah,
then you went directly, almost directly into the dark. Was that easy? Do you recommend that approach?
I so I'm okay with riding in the dark. If you're not, I would advise to go earlier. However, because I pre-qualified with a 200, there wasn't really anything earlier than 7 p.m. So
Okay.
I would also advise anyone if they want to pre-qualify for PBP this next year to do something along the 200s to get a better slot.
Yeah. Tell me about I'm looking at some notes here. Tell me about the sleep situation. Did you sleep well over the 89 hours?
I think I did. So I slept in the big sports hall in Ludiac twice, and then I slept on the floor in what's it called? Uh,
One of the
it was the
controls.
it was the penultimate. It was the penultimate control on the way back. I kind of
So
slept for an
so
hour.
so how many hours total do you think you got?
I would say about 6 or 7
Okay. Okay.
sleep, but um, my my faff time, as I like to call it, was very high. If I'd if I'd faffed less, my finishing time would have been a lot
Yeah.
faster. But I made a decision about midway into the first day, um, on that Monday when it was stupidly hot.
Yeah.
Um, I had a teammate who crashed, and I don't know, that got to my head, and I thought I'm going to slow down.
So did you actually see the guy or you heard about
No,
it?
I
Okay.
heard, so I had no idea what had happened to him.
Yeah.
And weirdly, he had the same tires I had, so I was like, I'm just gonna
Mhm.
be cautious. I did get a puncture
Yeah.
at the worst point. I think 100 200 meters from the secret control. So I ended up in the dark. So I changed a puncture for half an hour, and then ended up in the secret control. I was like, if that puncture was a bit later, it would have been so much smoother.
I think so. Yeah. Did you feel kind of an urgency all the time about the clock ticking away?
No, no,
Okay.
it was well, I think I was a only one point did I think that, but I it at the point where I felt that I was on the way back from Brest with a teammate and who wasn't going as quick as me, so I just told them to like just get onto my wheel. We're going to speed up a little bit.
That's great. Yeah. Did you have any dark moments at all?
Not really. As I said, I just
That's
well
good.
the worst part really was the early mornings. I think next time I'll try not to ride like between 4 and 6 in the morning because
Yeah.
when the temperature dips just before dawn, one, it's really cold, but two, I don't know, I felt really sleepy,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm gonna try and avoid avoid that. And also, I got to Carhay on the way out, and it was in the mid. So I was ahead of the bulge until Ludiac. My average until Ludiac was like almost 15 and a half mile an hour,
Yeah.
which was quite good. So I was like, oh, I've got loads of time, because I think I was ahead of the bulge at the time, but because I'd been passing loads of people overnight.
Yeah.
Um, but actually, on that first night, I thought I'd mention that when you're in that peloton, I don't know, everywhere you could see there was like a stream of red bike lights, and I just thought I think that was one of my favorite memories of.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an iconic
Oh,
sight,
oh,
isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, red
Um,
lights wherever you see.
it's crazy. You also mentioned, I think, two stops in particular. One was the Strawberry Feed Zone in Brest, and
Oh,
maybe the McDonald's in Tentiniac.
yeah. So I get to Brest, and I think I get there in 38 hours or something. So it's still good time for a
Yeah.
600. So I decide, okay, I'm gonna have a shower, then take
Yeah.
it easy. Uh, the rest of my team had started in the wave after me, so they started at 7:15. They had actually overtaken me at this stage.
Okay.
Um, so I think I thought, oh, I'll just go and catch them up. So you pass the iconic bridge that everyone takes a selfie on,
Yeah.
out of Brest, and I think there's a park.
Yeah.
There's a park there, and yeah, there's just people just handing out strawberries as if it was like a feed zone in the Tour de France.
That's
And the
funny.
funny thing was, they still had the logos on the floor from the one of the Tour de France was because I think they I can't remember what year it was. They had the one of their early stages in Brest to
Yeah. Yeah.
commemorate the Paris-Brest. So I
No, that's
just
funny.
thought that whole thing was like
Yes.
amazing.
And then you mentioned the McDonald's. I always think it's funny when people end up in McDonald's in France, but go on.
So it's a thing in like Audax, UK and Ireland, to stop at McDonald's for any
Yeah.
longer Audaxes. I think 200s is exempt, but
Yeah.
every qualifier I did over um over the 300, the 400, and the 600, I
Yeah.
always stopped at McDonald's, and it was kind of like a tradition. And yeah, I stopped in Centeniac, and it was full of Brits. There was one American who just said, I think they were having like some issues, stomach issues,
Yeah.
and they were having some McDonald's ice cream because it was the only thing they could eat. But
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Interesting. Any kind of comments or thoughts about the people of Brittany, the support on the side of the road, all that kind of stuff?
I, it was a it was amazing. So the first night, um, I don't know if it was like a bad strategy of my part, but I kind of ran out of water really quick. It was,
Yeah.
I don't know if you had the same thing. I just got really hot and um, yeah, ran out of water in the first night. So yeah, there was fortunately like people on the side like giving out water, and I was like really thankful for that. And yeah, I mentioned that feed zone, which was quite funny. But yeah, it was really random having all like different. Yeah, it's just amazing how many people did just cheer
Yeah.
you on at every point. I think yeah, I think it was Villeneuve, La Joelle. It's like a party atmosphere both ways when you
Amazing.
go in the first time. On
Yeah.
just just yeah, just amazing. It's like the end of a yeah, it's end of well, it was a control, but it felt like the end of a stage in the tour. So
So true. Yeah, so true. So maybe when you're like 100 kilometers out from the finish, do you remember how you felt? You're feeling good, tired, exhausted, or
I started suffering a little bit of Sheba's neck, and like I had a bit of I don't know if it's like cyclist palsy, but my hand was starting to so I think I shared a picture of you of me at the finish
yeah,
where my hands are like that because
yeah,
I started struggling with the controls,
yeah. So cool.
uh, but
So
but
you finished in a time of 88 hours, 27 minutes, right?
yeah.
It sounds like though that was very managed. You didn't feel rushed. Is that correct? Like you could get,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think what was my I think I shared my moving time. My moving time was like 55 hours,
yeah,
which
yeah,
typically yeah, if I was yeah doing it again, I'm gonna aim for a I think people say a good stopping average is what is it? So 80% moving and 20%
okay. That's yeah,
stopping. So it's like every hour you should stop for like 10 minutes on average for the whole ride.
yeah,
I think I average like stopping like I only rode 40 minutes and stopped 20.
Yeah, but
So
that's the challenge, of course, when you're new, your first time. It's so difficult to stay
yeah,
focused, particularly at the controls, I think. Alex, I've got a
yeah, because even
yeah,
before I the actual the started to slow down, yeah, I was a little bit inefficient
yeah.
at controls.
Alex, you did something that I really like, by the way. You wrote down your intentions before you set out on PBP. So I'm going to read your 7 intentions here, okay?
Oh
And
yeah,
maybe any comments about ones that worked, ones that didn't. But let me just read through the 7. So complete in time, remain healthy, do not be overtired, stay alert, have fun, eat well, but not too much, be careful of the sun. I like that. It's really smart because it makes you think about all of these things. Would you think about those intentions as you rode your bike?
um, yes, it's like so that last one. Be careful of the sun. Yeah, we had like a bit of a heat wave.
It was
So
hot,
it
yeah.
was. Yeah, I think I stopped a couple of times purely just to get out of the sun and like stay in the shade. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I am half Italian, but I've been living in Ireland where we don't have that
Right.
intense sun.
Yeah, that will
So,
wreck anyone. Yeah, exactly. Uh, any of these of the 7 that you thought was kind of difficult to achieve or maybe didn't work out as well?
I think it was the eats one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I I was I was pretty glad to not eat control food anymore by the end of the ride.
I get you. Yeah, so true. Cool. Anything else on 2023 that you'd like that we didn't talk about? Otherwise, I'll continue on with other questions.
Was this,
Take your time.
I
There's no
think.
rush.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, after Brest, I caught up with a couple of teammates, and it was pretty good to like stay in the team group. We did split at one point, and um, I actually waited like 1 hour in a control for my teammate to catch up. So that was another one of
Yeah.
one of the reasons why like my finishing time was so
Yeah.
well, it was within, but it wasn't quicker than what it was, and because I waited for one of my teammates, so it was really good to yeah finish with
Yeah.
them because I mentioned previously that my 300 was really like it's probably my one of the worst rides I've ever done.
Okay.
How I felt, and that day I was riding with the Orwell Audax crew all day, so so they helped me through that. So I just thought it would be nice. Yeah, nice. So I finished the ride in a group.
So,
I
yeah.
didn't plan it that way. I thought I'd finish a lot
Cool.
sooner
So,
before then, but no, it was really good. And yeah, it was my last ride for that team, so it's
yeah,
really good.
nice way to end it, Alex. So tell
Yeah,
me, a month after PBP, how did you feel? Feeling of satisfaction still, elation, or did you
yeah,
put, yeah,
um, yeah. I still didn't have full use of my hand from
okay.
PvP because it was
Yeah,
pretty shot from. But yeah, no, it was very good. It does take a while to digest. Um,
completely. Yeah. It's like your brain has been overloaded with data and you have to slowly kind of unwind it all. Yeah.
yeah,
So true. And I think was your daughter or your child born in October? Would that be right?
yeah.
Okay.
I did make a joke. So PvP is almost ran as a sleep deprived. You do get into sleep deprivation really quickly,
Yeah,
especially if you're in the later 90-hour wave. Um, I did think, oh yeah, this is actually prep for fatherhood.
exactly.
But
Yes.
yeah, on a serious note, yeah, it was
That's
great.
great. So then when you were doing PBP the first time, in your mind were you thinking, I am definitely coming back, or you had to think about it for a while?
I don't know. So weirdly on the way back, I've got so I took a conventional way back to the UK rather than routing via Ireland again,
Yeah.
where like just leave Paris with the train, get a ferry across to the UK, and then back up to Milton Keynes. But yeah, I was speaking to some of the British Audaxers, and I got talking to a guy who was on his seventh PBP,
Oh,
and his yeah, it was amazing. And his first PBP was when he was 34, which was my age at the time. I was like,
wow. Yeah.
I didn't really think of it at the time. I was like, oh yeah, maybe when I get to this guy's age, I can have done seven, but I don't know. Now I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, don't know, maybe
Yeah.
we'll see. I definitely want to try and do the 2027 for sure.
Cool. And is there anything dramatically different that you would do in 2027 versus 23?
I think I'll go into it with like a better mindset and
Yeah.
of yeah, just try not to faff too much at the controls and
Yeah.
try and keep if I can keep my first day pace for the whole ride, I think I'll be happy.
Yeah. I think it's very much a recurring theme. Someone who does it one time, they go back to try to kind of fix everything that went wrong in the first one. And, because the first one, you just don't know what you're doing, basically. Cool.
And also I'm almost thinking like how fast can I do it? I think
Okay.
70 hours is easily achievable if I faff less and able to stay at
Yeah.
my at the pace I did the last one. But we'll
Is
see. We'll see.
it, yeah.
Nothing's guaranteed.
Is oh my God, Charlie Miller time a thing in the UK or not really?
Not really. I
Okay.
really heard it from the first time, like watching your
Okay.
series.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's definitely more an American thing. So it's 54 hours and 40 minutes, something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard
It,
one, huh?
it
Yeah.
I think yeah, one of the previous interviews did say if you can maintain a 50 mile an hour average for the whole ride and having very few stops, you can do it.
That sounds
Um,
crazy to me.
I
Yeah.
I can average 50 mile an hour, so but I only did that on day one. If I can do that for the
Yeah.
whole ride and then minimize
Yeah.
my stop times, maybe
Well,
we don't know.
great.
We'll see. I want to see how fast I can do it, but at the same time, I don't want to like overdo it. As one of my intentions was,
Yeah,
like
I
I
get
want to
you.
be able to finish the ride, just be like, I'm happy with what I've done.
Cool, cool. Great. So let's end it then with your three tips that guarantee a finish.
Okay, yeah. Um, I was going to say I would, like, as you kindly read out the intentions. Yeah, write down your intentions. It's actually a well-known trick to writing down your intentions like helps helps you achieve something. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to write some things down. It doesn't have to be too complicated as you read out mine. It's just fairly straightforward. Otherwise, yeah, you get and not even too many.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Second tip. Sorry. Um, second tip, I would say be as efficient as you can at controls. Um, because you can lose a lot of time that you don't realize. I think I lost a lot of time in Carhay both times, and I don't know. I dread doing Carhay next time. So I hope I don't know. I need to think about how to deal with Carhay in 2027.
yes.
And then I think tip number three. Sorry. Um, yeah, tip number three. I think this have because I went into this was my first 1200 and my previous and it was double my previous ride. Yeah, just break down the ride into small manageable pieces. So what I mean by that is they give you rough they give you the distances between each control, and if you know roughly what your right audax pace is, you can just say, okay, between these controls, it should be about 2 or 3 hours. So that's how I
Yeah,
thought about it. So when I was in Tinteniac going out to Ludiac, I'm like, okay, it'll be in like another 3 hours or something.
perfect. Cool.
Um, yeah, so it's just easy. It's easy to think about it that way than like yeah,
Perfect.
one big whole thing.
Completely. Alex, it's been a complete pleasure, and hopefully I will see you in 2027, okay?
Thanks. Yeah, you too.
Thank you very much.